blinded him. 자. 땡큐 비트. GG. Alright. Wow. Their ADC was super bad, but didn't matter. Haha. I just couldn't do much though. They were just keep hovering on the top side. Yeah, but they couldn't do anything either because if they just let me push, then they lose so many from top side. So even Briar just had to kind of keep holding on top. Because of that, I can't do anything either. Like both Briar and I just couldn't do anything. They were just letting a Kled farm. Yeah, only Kled was taking something because Kled was not supposed to farm from being that behind. So I guess that's why I was getting frustrated. Oh, I have to let this Kled farm and I just can't do anything. But then it also kind of blocked from Briar to do anything. So, and then Kled with that much farm, he still can't carry. Yeah. GG's. And Varus Lulu were being very passive in the middle too. Yeah, Varus Lulu, and then Briar just hovering the top side, and then so it lets the Kled farm. And since I know that, I just can't do anything. Ahri was just kind of going deep in, but Victor was winning, so.